Billionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.
Under the Fair Use Act, these videos are for information and educational purposes, and I do not own the rights to any of these videos that are shown. All rights reserved to the original content creators.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL550, and this is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Today, man, we're gonna talk about a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So RJ Talk's gonna go over Google making some admissions after Jimmy Kimmel has came back, and everybody was talking about how, you know, the federal government shouldn't have the right to cancel people when they had nothing to do with Jimmy Kimmel getting suspended, not canceled. He got suspended, and at the end of the day, you have donors, you have people, you have the FCC who has regulations on, you know, these networks basically putting out false information. And he got suspended, and it was because he didn't want to apologize for comments that he made. And we're going to play his response on his first day back on the job. Also, we're going to get into, like I said, Google making some admissions about Biden's administration. And then we're going to end the show with Andrew Tate on the Hodge Twins podcast talking about black fatigue. So let's get straight into it. This is Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, before we start, man, make sure y'all like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy drop a dope video. Also, help your boy get monetized. I'm on the road to 500 subscribers. I got to do a little bit more than that, but most of the other things that I have on there, except for my shorts, is pretty much done. I'm focusing on the subscribers right now. Once I go crazy and drop a lot of shorts, I feel like I'm gonna reach that milestone really quick. So I'm not really sweating that. Even though it sounds like a lot of shorts that a lot of views you have to get on the shorts, but it's really not a lot with the shorts, to be honest. You get a lot of views quick on that. So anyway, man, help your boy get monetized. Let's get into it. This is Jimmy Kimmel on his first day back on his show.
But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand.
So this isn't the full episode. I'm not going to play the full episode, obviously. This is just some of it. If you want to watch the full thing, if you're into that, then you can go to Jimmy Kimmel's, pretty sure it's on ABC's YouTube or something.
Understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever. And
my whole thing is this. Why you ain't say this? Why you didn't?
Thoughts.
Oh, my God. I swear I clicked that. My bad. I apologize. God damn it, man. Anyway, why you ain't say this when this originally happened and you made the comments that you made? First of all, the whole situation happened with him because he insinuated that, Trump and MAGA, they don't want to admit that it was one of their guys. That's the comment that he made. He was insinuating that the guy who murdered Charlie Kirk was MAGA. Period. Even though all the evidence came out, and I believe that the evidence came out before he made this comment. I could be wrong, but even if it didn't, like, why would you even assume that that was the case before you even got more information? So, but my biggest thing is, why you ain't have these condolences and these fake tears when the situation, happened?
And also, selfishly, I am.
You know what this is? This is a fake. This is like a fake apology because the information that I got, that he didn't want to apologize. The donors, I believe, and the network told him to apologize and everything would be good, and he refused to apologize. So I guess he didn't get fired. He got suspended. His show got suspended, I guess, until they figured out what they wanted to do or whatever. So I guess, obviously, they decided to put him back on the air, and this is his so-called apology, I guess.
I am a person who gets a lot of threats. I get many ugly and scary threats against my life, my wife, my kids, my coworkers, because of what I choose to say. And I know those threats don't come from the kind of people on the right who I know and love. So that's what I wanted to say on that subject. But I don't want to make this about me because, and I know this is what people say when they make things about them, but I really don't. This show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this. Yeah. I've had the opportunity to meet and spend time with comedians and talk show hosts from countries like Russia, countries in the Middle East, who tell me they would get thrown in prison for making fun of those in power, and worse than being thrown in prison. They know how lucky we are here. Our freedom to speak is what they admire most about this country. And that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Steven off the air and tried to coerce the affiliates who run our show in the cities that you live in to take my show off the air. That's not legal. That's not American. That is un-American, and it is so dangerous.
Anyway, he's hilarious. God damn, I'm fucking up today. Anyway, he fake ass up. You see the fake cry though? The fake cry was hilarious. What y'all want? Damn man. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares, Jimmy. Nobody even cares about his show. The fact of the matter is, bro, is that, them mixed with legacy media and the things that they say are the reason why, you have the person that so-called killed Charlie Kirk. Even though I want to get into more about this tomorrow on this whole Charlie Kirk situation, because there's a lot of information coming out, a lot. That this is definitely way bigger than we actually thought. And now, mind you, all of this stuff is allegedly, but it's information that's looking very, very, very convincing. Very, very convincing information that is coming out across the internet between everybody from Candace Owens, Matt Gaetz, Tucker Carlson. I've seen videos by, Range Day Bro on YouTube. I pinned his on one of my previous videos. I pinned his channel in the description, so you go check it out. But I didn't want to play the video that he actually had on his channel because it's a little graphic, and I just don't want to play that on my channel. But if you want to check it out, you can go to his page, and he was going over basically how they believe that Charlie Kirk didn't get shot in the neck, that he got shot in the back of the head, and that was an exit wound that came out of his neck, and it's deep, bro. And then Benjamin Netanyahu is intertwined in this whole thing. So tomorrow, man, I'm going to tap in with LV Nation, and he got a short video on on that, so we'll tap in with that tomorrow. But let's get into a portion of this video where RJ talks, talking about Google. You know, this is coming after this. Jimmy Kimmel's back on live, and everybody was bitching and complaining, talking about how, you know, cancel culture and all of this, all bullshit. Well, let's get into this video.
In another story, YouTube announcing it will be bringing back creators it wrongfully banned for political speech during the Biden administration's censorship campaign, admitting this morning that Democrats wrongfully pressured their company to silence Americans' First Amendment rights. This is a huge story, a huge admission from Google. Now, we've seen this play out with Twitter before Elon bought the company. We saw the extent the Biden Department of Homeland Security and the FBI went to silence their critics. Remember Biden's Ministry of Truth? Nina Jankowicz, the epitome of state-run censorship.
That's false or misleading information that uses gendered tropes. So it might be, for instance, this is a big one that we tracked in the report, Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. Or it might be that Jacinda Ardern, another one that we found, is actually a man. So we might see racist tropes about, name it. I mean, Ilhan Omar is a favorite for this sort of racist sexual rhetoric that's compounded. The idea that she married her brother to immigrate to the United States.
She did!
But then we see racialized narratives, things like Kamala ain't black, hashtag Kamala ain't black, because
she isn't.
Tracked, things that are saying that she's not black enough, she's not South Asian.
Bro, listen, all of the shit that she just said is 100% true. 100% true. She did marry brother. Kamala did fuck her way to the top. She isn't black. She's not African American. She may be Jamaican and fucking Asian, but she's not African American. That's a fact. That's a fact, bro. It's just a fact. Like, this is hilarious.
Enough to claim that heritage. Same thing goes against AOC. So rather than write the word bitch, they will use an exclamation point instead of an I.
All of this breaking thanks to Elon Musk buying Twitter and then the Trump administration just smashing what remains into a million pieces. Well, we've all seen the Twitter files, but we've been wondering, speculating that the same thing must be true about these other big social media companies, including Google's YouTube. And today, we now know it is. This morning, the most watched video platform on the planet, YouTube, owned by Google, publicly committing to bring back all the users who they were forced to ban, they say, for political speech over the last 5 years. Congressman Jim Jordan, a Republican, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, announcing on X today that Google will be allowing censored users back onto the platform and is publicly admitting the Biden administration wrongly pressured them to punish creators who did not violate their terms of service. Jim Jordan saying, due to our oversight efforts, Google committing to offer all creators previously kicked off of YouTube due to political speech violations to return to the platform. But that's not all, he says, writing and publishing the letter that Google sent the Judiciary Committee, which says YouTube also admits the Biden administration censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong. This is Google writing this to the Judiciary Committee, admitting it, confirming that the Biden administration wanted Americans censored for speech that did not violate YouTube's policies, and even explains in detail when they began rolling these censorship policies back. Now, will the media be reporting on this? Reporting on what was real government censorship? No, instead, they're running cover for this story, continuing instead to report on the Jimmy Kimmel canceling. Of course, blaming Trump as the one who's censoring Americans. And now that ABC folded and agreed to bring Kimmel back, the media going even further, taking a victory lap this morning, comparing what they've accomplished, they say, what them and Hollywood accomplished was comparable to the Avengers. Watch.
Also, I think what we're seeing here, it almost feels like the Avengers. It feels like Hollywood came together with the left and Jimmy Kimmel's audience, and they really kind of formed in what felt unstoppable. You know, I was talking to a friend as soon as the news broke who said, oh, we had to have known this was going to happen with everybody saying that they were going to cancel, and also with these major celebrities like Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks and Jennifer Aniston coming out to complain.
The Avengers, a group of superheroes who fight tyrants. You see where they're going with this, right? Yet, when it really mattered, they were missing in action. When there was real state-run censorship happening for years under the Biden-Harris administration. Crazy. Kamala Harris, meanwhile, out in full force today, doing the rounds, trying to sell and promote her new book, stopping by The View, and still unable to come to grips with why she lost the last election, claiming it wasn't that Trump was better, it wasn't that Americans wanted to vote for him more than her, but it's because she was a black woman. You can't make this up. Watch.
A lot of people, I'm included, and President Biden also, think that a lot of it is about racism and sexism, and those are the reasons that you really lost, not because of the time thing. What do you say to that? Do you think this country will ever elect a woman president? In my lifetime, probably not.
Every office I've held, I've been the first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Usually the first woman.
Just think about that. She was the first. Oh my God, bro. I was the first. I was the first AG. I was the first vice president. Nobody cares, Kamala. You're a fucking loser. And if she would have became the president, we would have been fucked. And you think people were so-called, you think people were so-called getting canceled? Just imagine all the conservative podcasts that's on YouTube that would be demolished right now. They probably would have made the fucking law to arrest them, just like they're doing over there in, I think, London or one of them countries where they over there, they like ban free speech. You got people over there protesting it and all. Ridiculous.
And then often the first woman and the first person of color.
Right here.
The only time actually I was the second when I was the second black woman ever elected to the United States Senate in its hundreds of years history. So I'm not naive. Race and gender do play a factor in some people's minds about how they vote. But
no, they don't.
My history tells me, because I have been the first in all of those, that people ultimately want to know that this is the best person to do the job, and that's their focus, and that's how I've always run. I've never run as a woman or as a person of color.
But you and Hillary
I have
Clinton,
run because I believe I'm the best to do the job.
In another story.
And you're not. She is not the best person for the job, and that's why you didn't get it, loser. Listen, everybody on the planet voted for Barack Obama because he was black. And he knew how to talk. One thing I give Obama, he knows how to talk. He is intelligent. You're not intelligent. You're just not. You're a fucking moron. It's just what it is. It's a fact. It's not even like close, bro. Like, I've had more intellectual conversations with like 13-year-olds than I would probably have with Kamala Harris, bro. She's a fucking idiot. And it's just what it is, bro. And I don't even want to think about what the country would be right now if she was president.
Ryan Ruth has been found guilty this morning of trying to assassinate Donald Trump, convicted on 5 counts, 2 of those counts carrying a maximum life sentence immediately after.
So anyway, that was my bad. That was the end of that. Talking about Google. So basically Google comes out after this whole fake cancel culture rant that the Democrats was trying to push, even though Google came out, Mark Zuckerberg came out, all of these big went before Elon bought Twitter. They every single one of them, and you know YouTube is part of Google. They were literally pressured by the Biden administration to censor people on their platforms. This is a fact. This isn't like a secret or nothing. This is a fact. And yet they're trying to blame Donald Trump for ABC, which is a Democrat pretty much ran institution for suspending, not even firing, suspending Jimmy Kimmel. Like, they're trying to blame Donald Trump like he was the reason. Even though Donald Trump for years had been calling all of these people fake news and everything. Why wasn't they canceled during his first administration? If he was with cancel culture or for, the whole freedom of speech thing. That's why I don't like that Pam Bondi came out talking about targeting people for hate speech and all of that, because you literally are going against basically what Donald Trump stands for real. And that just won't happen, bro. As search for a vote on the Epstein files, we'll have to choose between disobeying Trump and voting yes, or voting no and always being viewed as a PDF protector. Bro, I'm gonna just be honest, Lauren. No disrespect, but I just don't care about Epstein, bro. I just don't, bro. I just don't care. It's not going to change. It's just not going to change anything, bro. Like, it's not going to change nothing. Like, let's be honest. Be real with yourself. Do you really think that these people are going to be are going to be held accountable for anything? They're not. And like, bro, yes, everything is soaring. You know why it's soaring? Because Biden's administration fucked the economy up bad. And then you got to understand something, bro. This shit is way deeper than we think, bro. You got like, look what happened when Trump was in office last time. COVID all of a sudden mysteriously happened. There's a video online. I think I brought this up. There's a video online from a show they had, a conspiracy show from like 2003. I gotta find it. I think it was on like Instagram or TikTok. And it was a show though. It was a real show that was on in like 2003. It was like a conspiracy show, and a woman was talking about how she had a conversation with somebody in head of state, and they told her that a pandemic was going to happen. You know what I mean? She didn't know like an exact time, but she didn't trust the government and knew that something like that would happen. And then when you go on the pivot and watch, I think I showed it on here 2 times that Obama brought up the fact that when he was in office, they were preparing for a pandemic. Like, how would you know a pandemic is coming? You wouldn't, unless you were a part of it. Like, it's a fact. It's a fact that COVID was funded by the USAID. You know what I mean? So, bro, like, I don't put nothing past these people, these Democrats especially, but Republicans too. I don't put nothing past them. I don't like government. I don't care about government. I hate government, to be honest. Like, so you're trying to tell me about stats like I give a fuck. I don't care. I work just like you do. You think I don't feel what happens at the grocery store? Goofy. But I appreciate the comment. Let's get into this next video with the Hodge Twins. They had Andrew Tate on.
People are tired of black people. Every time you look up, some Negroes arguing about something.
Well, you know,
Derek Penny, that whole situation.
Oh yeah, that was incredible. That was incredible, and it's. I'll be honest. One of the things that's amazing to me, because I am American. I lived here till I was 8, and then I grew up in England, and then I moved all around the world. What's kind of amazing to me about the American consciousness is that they have this huge preposition with racism, and they seem to think this is a racist country. Like, you motherfuckers haven't been anywhere.
Yeah.
Because this is the least racist nation on the planet. You think America's racist? Let me tell you where's racist. You know the most racist place? Africa.
Oh, yeah.
You ever been to Africa? You Hutu, you're Tutu, you're Boo-Boo. Like, they're fucking killing each other, having genocide. They all look the fucking same. They're pulling out machetes. Look at the Rwandan genocide. I couldn't even tell the 2 teams. They're running around fucking swinging blades. Bro, the whole world's fucking racist.
Niggas killing each other over nothing.
Over nothing. Hutu, Tutu, your nose shape.
They
I don't know
got
the fuck.
this huge continent. You got all these black people. You got all these resources.
All they do is kill.
And they're probably the poorest continent in the world.
Of course.
They have no leadership, and their culture is just broken.
100%. And also, it's because Africa's rich that it's poor, which we'll talk about in a second. But America's the least racist place you find on the planet. You think China's not racist? You think Japan's not fucking racist? You think India's not racist with this caste system?
And Lauren said, I need high value men to teach me the secrets, techniques to become an alpha male. After that, I will be very rich and every woman will want me. What? All right, I'm confused.
You think Africa's not racist with its fucking genocides?
Right.
Like, everywhere, even when I moved to England, the amount of racism I dealt with for being American. Like, I was American, they're like, oh, yank, oh, dickhead, school shooter. But it's like, watch out. But the thing is, I think it's funny.
Yeah.
But these people can't take a fucking joke.
Right.
Like, I love when people, I have the most diverse friend group, and our friendships are based on racism. Like, it's funny. It's funny. Like, I know a white guy.
Yeah.
Who's loyal.
Right.
Fucking weird. But like, we make fun of each other all the time. Like, racism is hilarious amongst a friend group.
Right.
But in America, everyone's so sensitive to it. It's insane. And they believe they live in a racist country. It's like, you need to go basically anywhere else. Yeah. Go anywhere else and you will see. And what's interesting is actually the countries like Dubai, which I spent a lot of time in, the UAE, which is a super diverse country with 80% immigration. But the locals, the natives, they're above you. You can't fuck with a Gulf Arab in UAE. You can come and you can visit and you can buy a nice house and you can live there and you can enjoy Dubai. But if you crash your car into an Arab, it was your fault.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Like, there's no way out of it, right? So the whole world's fucking racist except America. And these people are constantly and endlessly crying. It's like so ungrateful almost.
Yeah. Well,
it's ungrateful.
I think most of it comes from the black community, though. I think that's what's keeping racism alive in this country. Yeah, and the white liberals pushing it too. It's on life support. Yeah,
it ain't just the black community.
Tired of it now.
Because you got people that ain't in the black community, but they speak on behalf of the black community, like, Roland Martin, Al Sharptons of the world, who push racism on a regular basis. They don't even talk about anything else unless race is involved. They can't even speak on anything else unless you talking about the ills that happen to black folks.
Now, but they're going to keep trying to push it because it allows them to feel important for 5 seconds. So they're going to keep trying to push it.
Andrew, do you consider yourself to be African American?
Well, there's times. I'm like the day walker. I swap in and out. It depends.
Right.
Like I had an auntie. She's black and she talks like a white woman until she gets mad. Then she's Jamaican. Yeah. You ever had one of them?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's like me. Yeah. Depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm white. Sometimes I'm black. Depends what mood I'm in. Yeah. But no, it's really interesting. And also, pattern recognition isn't racism. We need to make that very clear. Like if I think of a pedophile, I imagine a white man.
Yeah. Right.
And if I think of gang shooting, I imagine a black man. Call me racist, but that's just
a
what I
fact.
imagine, right?
That's a fact.
I think Latino.
Well, that's right.
The truth.
100%. Build the wall. So we got enough tacos. It's fine. We don't need any more. So
if I walk into a restaurant, a Latino restaurant, and I see a bunch of Asians making tacos, I'm walking right out.
100%.
Yeah.
So racial stereotypes also exist for a reason, but now we're going to try and tell us that we have to ignore basic pattern recognition or it's racism. Right. And this is the point that's difficult because I'll be completely honest with you. If I was Snow White and I was a police officer and I was in inner Chicago and it's 4 a.m. and I've stopped a Toyota Camry and there's 4 black guys in it. And my partner got killed 2 years ago because of a Toyota Camry with 4 black guys in it. And they're not complying. I'll be trigger happy. Now, to pretend he's not, that's pattern recognition.
Yeah,
That's pattern.
That's how you survive.
That's how you survive in the world.
Yeah.
The reason our ancestors survived is because we saw someone go try and pet the lion. Got eaten. And we're like, there's a pattern here.
Yeah.
You try. Oh, he died too. Okay, avoid the lion. Right. There's a pattern recognition. So what's interesting, what's so scary about this racism argument is it prevents people. I'll give you another example of this in a second, but it prevents people from acting appropriately, understanding that perhaps the world's not a perfect place. Perhaps it's never going to be fully balanced. So you need to understand when you are going to be deemed more of a threat. So if I was a completely black person in that Toyota Camry, I would say, this officer's intimidated guys. We would be on our best behavior.
Right.
Now, they'll sit and say, I shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to lock your door at night.
Yeah.
But you do.
Right.
The world's not a perfect fucking place.
Right.
There's no such thing as shouldn't have to.
Right.
I'm a big man. If I go and knock, let's say my car breaks down, and I go knock on someone's door in the middle of the night, I know that I'm scary. If a little girl knocks, they may open it. I'm going to be more intimidating. I have to keep that in mind. I'm not going to be at the door like they're trying to flex.
Yeah.
They're not going to fucking open it. You have to know the game you're playing.
Yeah, because white people, someone knocking on their door, they're like, I don't know this guy. This is probably a home invasion.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, and this get me in trouble, if you're a black person in the inner city and you understand how the inner city runs, when you're getting stopped by police, you should comply more than ever because you should understand perhaps it's unfair he has these preconceived notions. Perhaps it's unfair. Perhaps you're a great person. Perhaps, yes. But the world's not perfect.
Yeah. Right.
And thinking that the world is perfect and us trying to push this ideal version of the world where everyone ignores basic pattern recognition is bullshit and garbage. I'm more intimidated when I walk past 5 men If I'm walking alone at night and there's 5 men on a street corner, I find that more scary than 5 women on a street corner. Yeah. Am I sexist?
No.
No, that's fucking, I'm not a dumbass. I'm a realist. Right. I'm a realist. So this racism's gone so far now that
I just think he's talking a bunch of facts, bro. I just think everything he's saying is true, bro. It's just what it is. And people will be like, we are in a sensitive time, dog. You can't even be honest with people no more. Like, everything is racist now. It's just crazy. CVL said, avoid the lion. So I guess you're talking about avoid me. I fuck with it, though. He's always right. Who? Andrew Tate? He be talking facts, though, bro. You know? Listen, bro, you don't got like 100% of nobody or nothing they stand for. But, you know, because I know people that don't like Andrew Tate because he's cocky and, you know, he's arrogant and all that. But at the end of the day, like, you know, he's just honest. He's just a realist. And that's how you got to, you know, move through the world, bro. But he's being honest, though. Like, name one thing that he said right now that isn't true. Like, you can't.
Disrupting the ability for people to be realists. Mm-hmm, yeah. So they're expecting a little white woman to walk past 5 big Negroes in the middle of inner city Chicago and be like, don't be racist, Jane. Don't be racist, Jane. Don't be racist. Hi, fellas. Hey, like, bro, you're gonna lose your handbag, at least.
Right. That doesn't bother me. Like if I'm getting into an elevator, this happened to us. We'll get in an elevator and it's just a white lady, and she'll just back in the corner and just like grab onto her purse. Yeah. I'm like, I don't blame you.
100%.
Yeah. 100%. I don't blame you at all.
But what's funny about it is they'll pretend.
That's called a logical man. That's just called a person that understands, like, look, you know, there's stereotypes in the world, unfortunately. And in that situation, she has been programmed to think that she might get mugged by a black man because they rob people, they kill people, they kill their own people. So just imagine how some people look at, you know, certain cultures in general, not just black people, but any cultures for that matter. Like, it's just like if a motherfucker seen, you know, a motherfucker with tattoos all over his face and shit, they gonna think they gangbang or something. Just, stereotypes is real, bro. Like, it's a fact, bro. It's a fact. You're not gonna go see you know, a group of black people out there just swimming with sharks for fun. Just not. You're not gonna see a black man climb Mount Everest just for the fuck of it. You know, like, oh shit, I feel like just climbing the biggest mountain in the world. Oh no, you're not. You're just not. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna see white people season their food real good. But you know, shit, stereotypes are real.
That being intimidating is a terrible curse when it comes to something like a police stop. When they live their entire life trying to be as intimidating as possible.
Exactly.
You're standing a certain way. You're dressing a certain way. You're listening to certain music. You're fucking gangbanging. You want everyone to walk past you to know you're a real fucking G. You want everyone scared of you all the time. Except for when the cop gets scared and pulls his weapon, then it's like, whoa, what's the problem? You've been scaring people your whole fucking life. You've been intimidating people your whole life. You could have had a 3-piece suit on and a fucking little hat. Yeah. You've been fine. No, you're wearing a fucking Crip bandana. Why do you think I was a gangster?
Right. Something in Ebonics.
Yeah, but it's bullshit. So all of this is done on purpose. This whole racism argument has gone way too far. As far as I know, black people and white people have basically the fair treat. The law applies to all of us. DEI actually gave black people a whole bunch of advantages over white people. So to sit here and believe that this is a racist country is completely ignorant. It's not a racist country. And you can succeed in this country if you, no matter what skin color you are, if you try your best and you conduct yourself the right way. And perhaps there'll be the odd scenario where you feel like you're being treated differently because of your skin color in a negative, but also you're not talking about all of the times you were treated in a positive because of your skin color. Perhaps because you're a big black man, you have problems in police stops, but you ain't got problems walking alone at night like a little white person does. So there's a bunch of times people were sitting there waiting to rob someone and goes, not him.
Right.
So you had the pros and the cons. Right. So you get the pros and the cons of these things.
This is why I like Andrew Tate though. Like, you know, I like people like Andrew Tate because, you know, they just like he's breaking shit down to the lowest denominator for you to make you understand like how you should view shit. How you know, a logical person is going to view these types of situations. And he's telling the truth, bro. Racism has been taken too far, bro. I'm 36 years old, bro. I lived in America my entire life. I've been called a nigger one time my entire life by a white guy. I wasn't offended at all. I actually laughed at it. It was funny. But at the end of the day, like throughout my entire life, I never felt afraid of white people or nothing. Every situation was that I had encountered with police, and if it was a negative situation, it was because I was like in my feelings. But now that I'm older, I haven't even been pulled over, but if I did, it wouldn't be an issue because I would just comply. I would just be like, hey, what's going on, officer? You didn't stop at the stop sign. Oh, I didn't? Oh, damn, my bad. That's my fault. Now he has the option. He's either going to give me a ticket because I did what I did, and I accept the ticket and I go on my way. You know, I go online, boop, 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 pay the ticket, it's over, it's done with. It's like it never happened. But instead, people get pulled. What do you mean? I ain't motherfucking stopping no stop sign. What are you talking about? Mama, I seen the stop sign a mile down the road. And they start going into this whole riff, and now you done turned a simple stop into something crazy, you know? And that's majority, like George Floyd, he turned a simple, listen, bro, unfortunately, I'm not proud to say this, I've been to jail many a times, bro. Many. Too many, to be honest with you. Been to jail. I've been to prison. Like, bro, he would have been out the same day. He might have been out in 2 hours. He probably wouldn't even have stayed a full night. If he did, he'd be out in the morning. He got what charged, whatever, you know, counterfeit. He would have went to court. They would have let him out. Big facts. He even knew that. But instead, you know, I don't know if he was tied up or what the case may be, but he turned that into what happened. Now, Derek Chauvin putting his knee on his neck, especially for that long, was out of pocket, and he got what he deserved for it. But that all could have been avoided if he would have just complied. But we're taught not to comply, you know? And that's another thing. The biggest component to racism in America is the fact that we're teaching our kids it. You know what I mean? You got people teaching their kids that every cop is a racist and be careful and da-da-da-da. Instead of just saying, look, bro, it's people out here that don't mean you no good. You know, and that's what I'm teaching my kids. Like, yo, not everybody means you any good. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody means you harm. You know what I mean? So you got to just move through life accordingly and be smart. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I teach my son 15, he'll be driving soon. You know, listen, bro, you get pulled over, just comply. Seriously. I used to be the guy that didn't comply. But I realize now, like, it just don't get you nowhere not just living like that. You know what I'm saying? But everything that he's saying is truthful. All right.
That's life.
That's life. So
you got to take advantage of the pros.
Exactly. And just to go back on my point, because I mentioned it earlier, and I just want to wrap it up. I said about how Africa's poor because it's rich. Mm-hmm. I watched a really interesting study. You should watch it. It was about what makes the perfect nation. Because I was trying to build the perfect country in my mind. Like, what would make the perfect nation? It was talking about if you started from zero, how would you have the richest, most prosperous, perfect country? And it said the countries with the best weather are countries like England and Netherlands, because you want it to be a little bit rainy. You want to be able to have agriculture, and you don't want people to have too much fun for free. Like in Thailand, they ain't got to be rich. They just go to the beach, get coconut. They're living good. In England, you got to have a Ferrari and a mansion, you're still depressed. Right. So you work very hard, you pay a lot of taxes. There's a whole bunch of things involved with it. But it said that if you have a complicated societal structure, natural resources makes your country richer. So like Norway is very rich. They have oil and a bunch of natural resources, but they have a complicated social structure. So they dig the oil up, and that money goes to the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund, which goes into the stocks and bonds and the gold ETFs, and it's all tracked online, and they're a very rich country. Africa's super rich, but they don't have complicated systems. So what happens there is that they discover cobalt. The problem with natural resources is it doesn't require society to get the value of it. So if you have a country that builds jet engines, you now need factories, which takes workforce, which need houses, which need universities, which need schools, which need hospitals, which needs roads. So you have to build all this infrastructure around it to produce these jet engines. If you find cobalt, you just got to dig it up out of the ground. So Africa's problem is that it's so rich, they don't have these complicated structures. So what happens is they find cobalt, the dictator gets a deal from outside, usually the West, to get money into his pocket. They send a few soldiers and a few kids to go dig it up. They take all the cobalt out. It goes straight to the West. The dictator gets rich. None of the African people get rich. None of the African nation gets rich. They don't build anything. And the cobalt's gone. West is rich. Dictator goes to Dubai. Boom, done. So Africa's biggest problem is that it's actually so rich in resources that it's held back by how many things it has. If it didn't have any resources, they could build things and put it all together and start building jet engines, but they don't, because they're like, look, we found something interesting here. Dictator gets rich, few of the elites get rich, and the average person gets fucked. It's kind of unfair. But that's the Africa
stupidity.
Story.
I mean, do you think that's? I'm going to sound like a white supremacist when I say this.
I know what you're going to say. Don't even say it.
Do you think that's genetic?
Well,
but come on, man.
Byron Daniels is after me. Byron Daniels is after me. No, but let's think.
Well, let me take that back. It's not genetic, it's culture.
Yeah. I mean, but culture on a long enough time frame is genetic.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
So, like, if when white people, you know what I love? If you watch on Twitter, it's actually the best argument. It's so fun. The race realists, the super racists who say like black people are genetically different to white people and you're more violent and and all this shit. They always attack me on Twitter and call me mulatto and all this shit. It's so funny. And I read all their shit. I read all their shit. I read all the race realism stuff. And I'm kind of sitting there going, kind of agree with some of it.
Yeah.
They're saying black people are more naturally violent. I'm like, hey, damn right. Watch out. But that's right, pussy. But culture on a long enough time frame becomes genetics. I mean, let's be honest. Is the average African as smart as the average Westerner? No. I would argue that if you go to the Central African Republic where they don't have schools and they don't have infrastructure and their parents haven't been to school and their grandparents haven't been to school, that probably they're not as smart as somebody who's their entire bloodline's been university educated. Probably that is true. So after a long enough time frame, it becomes genetic. And then you want to take enough of them and dump them over here and expect them to operate within complicated systems they don't fully understand. They're probably just going to say, fuck it, let's rob the store. And then you have, I mean, this is realism. This is realism.
Yeah, because you look at Africa, it's a continent, it's not a country, but if that was a country like the United States with the resources they got, the manpower they have, it would be a superpower.
It should be
the biggest superpower.
It should be a superpower.
But this little United States, majority is white, is running the world.
Well, white people are the best at building complicated systems. That's what the white people do best.
Yeah.
I mean, like my camera guy who's off. There he is. Look at him.
White
right?
guy.
These are the people who, in 1960s in NASA, when they did Apollo 11, all them motherfuckers. It was like,
and that's true. And also, they're also good at stealing too, and creating the systems around what they stole to make sure that nobody else but them and their families profit from it. You know what I'm saying? So, that's all I'm saying, man. It's good to know the histories and all of that stuff about how things came about and whatnot. And, racism and certain things definitely played parts in all of this stuff. But he's definitely 100% right. And, white people are teaching their kids to, outside of the racial things, right? They're teaching their kids finances. They're teaching their kids about credit. They're teaching their kids to go to college and get an education. Like, it's like standard shit in, like, not all, but most white people's homes is that their kids go off to college. It's like regular shit. So, of course, they automatically have a head start because they are teaching their kids to have a head start. You know what I'm saying? This is, like, they don't know, like, oh, I'm broke, let me go rob somebody. Like, no, they go ask daddy for some bread, or they get a job. Like, they teach their kids just to work, go to school, and all that. But, everybody always brings up the exceptions there. Yes, there's poor white people, bro. My mother's one of them. She was one of them. She was I had a poor white family on my white side too. Both of my families from Camden, and they both was poor, and whatever. Now they all live outside of Camden, and they act, a little more bougier, I guess. Whatever. But anyway, he's talking facts, bro. That's why I fuck with Andrew Tate. I haven't been watching him in a minute, but I used to watch him all the time and shit. I thought he was interesting. But I just like raw, unfiltered people who just are brutally honest. I don't know. I like that about people, even if it's about me, even if somebody was, I like when people just keep it real, bro.
Like 20,000 of them little white guys with glasses and pieces of paper and a pen, and they put something on the moon.
Yeah.
You get 10,000 black people in a room, tell them to achieve anything.
Dude, that was so wrong. But factual.
How long till there's a fight? Shaniqua's jumping in. She's trying to hit it. Like, we're more
why
family-oriented.
Shaniqua always a black name, bro?
Right?
Yeah, more tribalistic.
We're tribalistic, which is a pro and a con. Again, these are pros and cons, but if you want to extrapolate it out towards a nation state, The thing the white man is best at is working with people he doesn't know. That's a white man's superpower. A white man will go, hello, I've got a bunch of money and I want to build boats. I've decided I want to build boats. So I'm going to go and find the best boat builder. John Smith. Hello, boat builder. I don't know you. You don't know me. This is called a contract. And let's do a contract and you're going to build the boats and I'm going to pay for it. And now we have a successful shipping company. In Africa, it doesn't work that way. They're like, I'm rich. I want boats. Who do I know? My cousin.
Yeah.
My cousin can't build boats. He doesn't know anything about boats, but that's who I know. He's the only guy I trust. He's in my clan. He's my family. So I go to my cousin. You're in charge of the boats. Okay, I will build the boats. And he takes the money, and then no boats get built. And everything's fine. That's why the finance minister is the second cousin of the fucking president. And nobody knows anything. Yeah. And it's all insidious because you only.
Hey, yo, bro. I don't know why. The first thing that popped to my brain was Dr. Umar saying that he hired black people, black contractors, and they wasn't doing the work. That's all I thought about for some reason when he was saying that. But, bro, just comment when he's saying something wrong, bro. Just comment, bro.
Trust your people. Yeah. Now, I'm still like that now. I'm black enough like that now. I trust my brother, my people.
Yeah.
So I got that black in me. Yeah. But I'm also white enough to know I can do a contract and get a boat built. But white people are fantastic at trusting people they don't know. That's why white people are like howdy neighbor. They don't even know you. Howdy. White people have this weird, no, it's not weird, but the white people mentality is far more attributed towards the benefit of society with a larger understanding of working with those they're not directly correlated with. Whereas the black people is like, these are my people only. And it's very insular. But it becomes far more difficult to run a country that way with competence. If you want to run a country competently, you need to find the most competent man for the job.
Yo, even on a small scale, bro, I remember, like, bro, if you go to, living in the hood and you go to your black friend's house, bro, like, you not, like, they peoples ain't gonna make you feel too comfortable, especially about doing things like helping yourself to something. You know what I mean? Like they gonna make you, they gonna like let you know, like you ain't doing that in no black homes. I've been to my white friends' houses and they let you rummage through the fridge, eat up all their food. They don't care. Like, and I've been to white parties. I love white parties. I used to go to white parties all the time. I stopped hating. I started to hate going to black parties because every time I had to go with a knife, something, a weapon, and we always got into a fight, always got into some shit. Facts, like big facts. This is like personal shit. And what I'm saying is I've been to white party. Every time I go, I don't know any of these people, but they make me feel right at home. They're like, hey, man, you want a beer? Oh, yo, we about to do some shots. You want some shots? It's like they make you feel right at home. That is a fact.
I don't know if this is true. I don't want to be held up.
Don't even know
I
from a
don't want
can
to
of
be
paint.
attacked for it. It might not be true, but I heard something that when the British start sailing their ships around, they were amazed that when they got to all these native countries, the Aboriginals in Australia and Africa and India, all these places, no one had heard of a contract. No one had heard of the idea of working with someone who wasn't their family. They're like, it's a contract. They haven't heard of a contract. No one had heard of it. So what, you just find anyone to do it?
People ain't heard of a house. They was living in grass huts.
Well, that's right. So they were like...
Savages.
Yeah, well,
have you seen those videos of them eating? Hey, pull up
It's
that,
the
Joe.
year 20.
Joe, pull up those TikTok videos of these African tribes.
Byron, I'm sorry. Listen, I know you got busted for weed. Fucking talk about letting the black man down. For busted for fucking weed.
Yeah. Check fraud.
Andrew Tate's a human trafficker. You know, fuck this guy. I'm moving to Vegas. Fuck these people. Bring your case. Fuck you.
Yeah, make it bigger, Joe.
What the hell is that?
These people have not evolved at all for like probably 5,000 years. Imagine being a white man back in the slave days. So yeah, we'll take these.
All right, so let's talk about this now.
Yeah,
we're going on race realism. You know, we're the only people brown enough to get away with this, so we can do it.
Oh, we're not going to get away with this shit.
Well, let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
so the white man, where he grew up, primarily they had to plan ahead in a way different than the Africans did. So, like, if you were in England, you had to grow grain because that's how you eat. But grain only grows a certain part of the year. So you have to think ahead and you have to plan. You have to plow the field. Then you have to grow the grain. Then you got to build buildings to store it in. And that means you need a lot of people. A lot of people need schools, hospitals, roads, housing. Now you need a city. You have to plan everything over a year cycle just to have food. In Africa, they didn't have to do that. Mango. Boom. They just go get a mango when they're hungry. Go kill this. They had so much resource, they didn't have to plan ahead. Wait till you're hungry, kill something, eat it. You didn't have the same infrastructure that was required to eat.
Yeah, it gets cold in Europe.
It gets cold. You got to build a house. You need firewood. You got to think ahead. You apply that across 1,000 years. You have a very different mentality towards life than you do in Africa, which is just pure brutal survivalism. That's what it is.
I've heard that argument because of the weather, white versus the white man and the black man. Both races evolved differently over time because living in a cold, horrible climate, you got to think.
Yep.
And you live in a warm environment, you just get up, take a shit, and
make
you a bowl of soup like these niggas.
That's right. And you're good.
Yeah.
So, this is it. And then,
hey, yo, man, shout out to the Hodge Twins, bro. Yo, y'all want to check out the rest of that, man, go to Hodge Twins on YouTube, bro. They funny as hell, man. But I gotta go. Man, yo, this is a dope show, bro. And listen, man, black fatigue is real, man, and we do need to work on ourselves, bro. And listen, bro, when I speak, bro, I speak to myself first, bro, because I've been doing a lot of working on myself, bro. Just, getting out of that victim mentality and just going hard and, just being the best version of myself. And, like, that's what I try to, breathe into my kids mainly. But, anytime I have these, I got people that every time we get together when I'm cutting hair, shit like that, we build, we talk about just dope shit, and that's what we need more of, man. That's why I said coming together is like one of the best things that we could do as a culture is come together, start working together, stop being lazy, because that's a component too. Motherfuckers don't want to work, bro. Everybody expect to get the outcomes of hard work without putting in hard work. And it's just simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, people think you going to get to the league when the percentage of people that get to the NBA and the NFL is so small. Like, bro, you got to be, like, on another planet almost to, make it to the to the NBA and the NFL and even the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to dish them, Shout out to them, though. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, shout out to the Hodge Twins. Shout out to Andrew Tate. Also, shout out to RJ Talks, man. Listen, man, this your boy SL550. This is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast, man. Listen, help your boy get monetized. Hit that subscribe button for me, man. Stop just tapping in for a quick. Even if you tap in for 3.4 seconds, I don't care. Hit that subscribe button for me. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate, donate. Donate your finger to that motherfucking subscribe button. Help your boy get monetized. I really, truly do appreciate it, man. Make sure y'all like, share, also comment. Hit that notification bell to get notified every time your boy drop a dope video. Until next time, I'm out.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.